speaking of injury concerns, the Jean Morant-led Memphis Grizzlies. Now, here's another team that I also feel has gotten a little worse. I was looking up some of their moves that they made through the offseason. They added a couple of young rookies. They added I think I'm getting this name, Jake LaRavia, number 19 overall. They added David Roddy, number 23 overall in the draft, and Kennedy Chandler, number 38 overall. They added Danny Green. Don't really know what that brings nowadays because he's kind of, shot. They traded away DeAnthony Melton. I just feel like this team needs to get Ja, a true number two, somebody who's on his level or just under it. And until that happens, this team has a cap. And the way Ja Morant plays basketball is very reminiscent to a Dwayne Wade, a Derrick Rose-esque, where he just puts his body on the line. Every offensive play is gonna be 110%. He does not care, and that can be a detriment. And I've heard other former NBA players on TV and talking about him and mentioning this issue with him. So, but that's kind of just how Ja Morant plays. That's how he is special. So I don't know if he can really change that. So is that going to probably shorten his peak, his prime years? There's a chance. So yeah, they need to add they need to give Ja a real number two.
We do this every year at the Grizzlies. In the offseason, they make moves like letting go of Kyle Anderson in free agency, trading DeAnthony Melton for a guy in Danny Green who tore his ACL, and at this point, like you said, is very limited. But for the last 4 years, in each of their seasons with Taylor Jenkins, 2022, where they won 56 games, tying the franchise record, 2021, making the playoffs and beating the Warriors, by the way, in the play-in, 36 wins that year, or 38, 2020, making it to the play-in when no one expected them to. Taylor Jenkins has established himself as a true elite head coach. Top 6, top 8. He's consistently been the coach of the year discussion over the last 16 months. But the theme with Memphis is, like you said, Ja Morant, he's filling the bill of a Allen Iverson, where it's just that go-to scorer, and alongside him, there's not that star-level talent. Desmond Bane last year was phenomenal. 47% from the field, knockdown shooter from 3, and the playoffs, he was playing through back injuries and still doing his best out there. For the Grizzlies, the X factor this year, 2. Jaren Jackson Jr., who will miss the start of the season after undergoing a foot procedure, and Zaire Williams. Zaire is one of the league's most important young players because the Grizzlies need some versatility on the wings. DeAnthony Melton, he's gone. Dylan Brooks is a shot chucker that I can't stand. And in a lineup like this, you need a fifth starter that's like Jay Crowder, PJ Tucker, guys that know their role. Desmond Bane's better. Jaren Jackson Jr. is better. And oftentimes in the playoffs, Steven Adams won't be out there. Instead, it'll be maybe, I don't know if Jake LaRavia will be out there. He reminds me of Doug McDermott of the San Antonio Spurs. And there's going to be times where Dylan Brooks is the last guy. His job is to defend, space the floor, and create opportunities for his teammates in transition. But he doesn't know when to dial it back. And that's his limitation as a player on a contending team that can hold the entire unit back altogether. So Zaire needs to fit the bill, that fifth starter that can take over, and he reminds me of Brandon Ingram. So there is the potential for him to do that. The player I want to highlight here is Steven Adams, because Steven Adams last year was tremendous. In a perfect role, in the right situation for him and Ja Morant, he's the type of screen center that'll set 2 of them almost. And he is so strong and big, he'll almost barricade a lane for Ja Morant to run right by him, kind of like what he did with Russell Westbrook. And he's a very good offensive rebounder, a smart passer out of the high block, and defensively, he has size. And with Jaren Jackson Jr., makes for one of the better front courts in the NBA because of Jaren's versatility. They fit together very well. To start the season, though, they're going to have to roll with either Santi Aldama or Brandon Clark at the starting 4 spot, because losing Jaren, who was their second most important player last year, and arguably the most improved defensive player in basketball, is going to be a critical blow. They won last year without Ja because this defense is truly elite. There's no questions here defensively, outside of Ja, who kind of at times in the playoffs can be attacked. The question is how they can generate offense in the postseason when Ja Morant is maybe not himself. Because we saw last year, this team is very flawed around Zion on that side of the ball.